Over the next 2 minutes, I want to make you think about and reflect on the activity that is copying from the board in our classrooms. Now, copying from the board in certain instances might be essential if you want students to get some key words down or some instructions of how to perform a task. But if as a teacher you find yourself quite often and regularly, lesson by lesson, getting students to copy lots of things off the board, etc., I just want you to reflect on and think about the level of cognitive participation that requires from students. Because actually it's a very, very low level. All we're having to do is look up, write words, copy things down. We don't really have to even engage. We're just literally looking at words, and they could copy a sentence in Russian, realistically, and not have to even understand what it is. And what that also leads to is books that might look really nice and they all look consistent and they've got all the right things down. But actually, how much have they learned from that? And how much of that actually, by copying down, is even going into their heads? Would it be better for them to actually read it and turn it into their own words, or even just read it and discuss it with the person next to them, rather than aimlessly kind of copying things down just because we want to look nice in their books? So I want you to think about the level of participation rate that requires, and how could you do that in a different way? Might there be some information that you've already got printed that they can stick in their book, that they don't have to then spend time copying things down, because just because they're copying it down doesn't mean they're going to know it. Let's already have that pre-printed. And can we turn more of the activities into the students thinking and doing and using that information to then, from a different context, etc., to then put that information in context and solve something rather than copy down? Because even the most disengaged kids, when you say copy off the board, they can all pick their pen up and they can all do it, etc., because I'm just doing this now and I'm just following compliance. But does that lead to real engagement? So next time you're thinking about that, is it necessary? Could it be done in a different way? And if I'm having to do that quite a lot, actually, am I really getting my students to engage and use their brains, or is it just one of the lower levels of cognitive demands that I'm placing upon them?